So what progress have we made? Where are we at?
I think we've made some progress.
Since the last time we talked, we've done some planning.
Yeah, some planning.
We've done some seed ordering and seed receiving.
Yeah.
What'd you get in? I mean,
Were you looking at my seeds over here?
Well, you got your sunflowers over there.
Yeah.
But you got stuff from Baker Creek. You got another order from Baker.
I mean, I think it's safe to say I have a problem.
It's a good problem to have. It's like currency.
I mean, I don't know. I buy the issue is that I buy from these, not these. I buy from specialty places that sell small packets of seeds instead of buying in bulk for potential market gardening, right? I mean, that's a little bit of an issue.
Yeah, we should probably buy some more generic things that people have heard of before.
I don't know about that.
Just not much, but I'm talking about you need like.
I'm not motivated by that though.
Yeah, I get it. This year we're not really going to be market gardening.
No, but it is a practice.
It's a test. It's a practice run. So we'll do.
I mean, we are going to do farmers markets, aren't we? If they're available.
If they're available, and yes, and we got enough to bring there, we'll bring because we also have the eggs. So we'll bring all that.
Wait, eggs?
Yes, and the whole hoop house is going to go to tomatoes.
And we signed up to do that course. It starts on the 14th, and it's about chicken processing.
Oh. I didn't know. You told me.
I did. I told you.
You told me. Okay.
And then after that, there's another course. I believe these are put on by the state, and that course is about market gardening, I believe.
Oh, okay. So the state one tells you how to stay in regulation.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you. That's right. Yes. I was sitting there going, we know how to process chickens, but but how to be on the up and up so the food police don't yell at you.
How to legally? I mean, we have all those chickens right now. We can't legally sell them. We want to be in a position where that's another product that we have. I think we did a pretty good job this year, and I think that we have an excellent quality product that we could offer to if we had friends.
Yes.
We could offer them to friends.
Yeah. So in our state, which is Idaho, my understanding so far is you need to pre-sell. Oh, I didn't get her juice. All right. So where were we? Okay. So I was talking. Oh, yeah. Process. So we're supposed to sell. You're supposed to like pre-sell them.
Yeah.
So you have to sell the whole bird live before, like, we're not technically supposed to backyard process and be able to sell them, which I'm not sure how that works because Virginia is more strict than Idaho. But yet, Joel has gotten away with that for 50 years. So, I don't know, we got some learning to do. So on the 14th, obviously that's our course we're going to be taking. But back to the garden. Yeah, so we're going to have the whole hoop house, which is 16 by 48. That's going to be tomatoes for the most part, unless we have a table in there doing starts or something.
I'm putting my dahlias in there too.
Dahlias, okay.
The dahlias are very large, and they have a tendency to fall over, so we want to put them in there where they're protected.
Ah, okay.
My dahlias, anyway. The ones that I have coming are larger.
Yep. And then we started kind of planning. This is the top half of our garden. That's going to totally...
Oh my gosh, you can't see
Can't
that
see
at all.
it. Those lights are too... There we go. Got a pass light. So they're not super accurate, but I think I have it correct to where we can see how many beds and how long and how wide we're going to be able to fit and how many of those beds in each. So at least that gives us an idea. We laminated these so she could mark up on them during the season.
Yeah.
And that at least give us an idea of growing space. So our garden is basically 1/4 of an acre, just under 1/4 of an acre, I believe. So pretty decent sized garden. The hoop house is outside of the garden. And then we're going to do some stuff in the field because we basically have like unlimited field as far as gardening is concerned.
Yeah,
so what
it's
do
not unlimited.
I mean,
as far
as gardening, it is.
We need to cultivate it to be. I mean, we need to put a big orchard in there.
We do. We have to put berries. We have to put trees, berry trees, and probably that like the walnut.
Yeah, and what about those others that I was telling you
about?
The
chestnut.
Yeah, with the truffles.
Truffle chestnut. Are those chestnut? Or
truffle? No. I believe they are. You can get them. Yeah, they're called filbert. Filbert trees are chestnuts, are they not?
Yeah, I think so. But yeah, so basically we got to get a big giant deer fence up. So we live right next to basically a nature preserve. I mean, everything is right next to, and there's no real barrier. So
and out in the field, when we go out there and walk, there's always deer beds and
turkeys are everywhere, deer are everywhere. Haven't seen much elk. I've heard them. Seen a couple moose, but yeah, coyotes. I mean, it's all out there. So we have to.
But the deer would probably be
the deer would be the worst.
Yeah,
because the deer are everywhere.
So we're gonna have to put up at least some temporary fencing.
Are they a danger? She got on a flower kick since I think our last video.
So I have some weird thoughts about this area we live in. This area is a little unique. It's a unique space. So the area that we live in has had over the past few years, an influx of people that would be interested in something that we want to do, which is, we talked about doing vegetables for a long time.
Yeah.
But the difference between homegrown vegetables and conventional farming is that it costs more money, obviously, on a smaller scale, and to do things in an organic manner. So there's a higher cost to them, right? And so there is a very particular client who is looking for a more nutrient-packed food item. And while those people exist here, I know that there is still a huge divide financially. There's a lot of people who have been put out and are not doing well, especially with COVID, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it has affected so many people. People laid off from their jobs, small businesses shut down. I mean, you name it. It's been
And our economy here has stayed open.
Right.
We haven't had any. Yeah, people don't listen to any of that. So
my concern and my thought process has been, I don't know, that I think that people are finicky when it comes to the way that they choose to buy food. And some people are very comfortable with buying their conventional produce. And I'm not here to change anybody. That's not my job, is to make you believe otherwise. Everybody's very protective about what they believe is right when it comes to food.
Yeah.
You want to make somebody get defensive, start talking about food. So,
yeah, we don't have like a huge. I mean, our closest city is an hour and 15 minutes away, and I'm not counting.
Yeah, in either direction, right?
Yeah, I'm not counting CDA.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I'm talking about Spokane.
Mm-hmm.
So
in every direction.
In every direction, yeah, because we're kind of in the inner boonies here.
Yeah.
And a lot of people up our way, they kind of grow a lot of their own stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of homesteaders here.
You would really have to get, maybe down the line, be able to get a delivery service to like Spokane, where it's like twice a week or once a week, something like that.
Yeah.
And so this year, at least, it's going to be like a proof of concept for a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So we'll grow rather than having a CSA where you're like, okay, you got your money.
Yeah.
Now you better perform so that you're giving them.
That's a lot of pressure.
Exactly. We want to do proof of concept on what is growing well, because this is our first real year. I mean, last year wasn't really a real year of gardening. Everything was not set up because we had just got here. So this will be our first real year to see what grows well, make adjustments to soil, make adjustments to season extension, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then if we have surplus at the end of the year, we're like, oh, that went well. Or throughout the season, it's going well. Then we can just, we'll go to a farmer's market or whatever we decide to do.
But back to the reason why I brought in the flowers was that I feel like it's easier for people to fall into the same line of logic and buy that luxury item if it's flowers as opposed to organic food.
Yeah, if they want the flowers and they're like, I might as well get some carrots and
maybe it could be a
something
combo.
else. Yeah.
But I just thought I I don't know. It's just
They're really
it's just
pretty
a feeling.
flowers. Yeah.
It seems like people are resistant to.
People love cut flowers.
Yeah, I think so.
And there's a million occasions too.
They're just so pretty.
Yeah, and
you know?
people like having fresh cut flowers and things like that. And as long as you are marketing it correctly, in terms of letting enough people know that you exist, and perhaps doing some kind of delivery, weekly delivery of fresh cut flowers, things
Yeah.
like that. We're just gonna have to play with it and see
Well,
how it goes.
we're also trying to do the seedlings, so we're
Yeah.
hoping that we can get enough of a surplus with the seedlings that we're going to start planting here pretty soon, so that we can supplement the expenses for our personal garden.
Yeah,
So, that would
Absolutely.
be wonderful, you know,
if we can pay for the seed and pay for the food we grow for ourselves,
or come close to breaking even. Yeah, that would be awesome.
that'd be solid for
Yeah.
sure. So, yeah, we got a lot of flowers. How many flowers did you order? Like, varieties?
I have few. I don't really know. I know that I ordered some from Johnny's, right? Which, I'm just playing around with some of these. What else? I got a few of the new varieties from the 2021 seed collection from Baker Creek. I got these sunflowers that just came today. These are the Pro Cut sunflowers, right? So they don't have the pollen in them. And that means that they just make nice flowers for the table without making a mess everywhere.
Oh,
So I got a bunch of varieties, a bunch of different colors, and I thought
and those are all sunflowers?
these are all different variety sunflowers.
Okay.
Yes.
And were we gonna
I
grow
think I
some
got-
sunflowers for the chickens out of that other
Yeah.
bag?
No. Definitely.
Do some rows of sunflowers just to
Yeah.
bag up. If we could get like 100 pounds of
Well,
sunflowers.
it depends on how
maybe.
much temporary fencing that we can get put up in the field, because that's where all of that needs to go.
Yeah. Do deer eat sunflowers?
I don't. I
Oh,
know
they
that.
eat everything.
I know that I've seen people complain about mice and chipmunks and stuff.
Climbing up them?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Well, there's no putting up a fence for a chipmunk,
No.
so that just is what it
We
is.
didn't have any issues this year, and so
Yeah.
I know nothing yet, right? I'm still learning. But
Hmm.
the sunflowers, the big ones that we grew in the beds,
Yeah.
they were not fertilized at all. So I mean, when I say fertilized, I mean there was no seeds when I harvested them. And I thought, other people are complaining about how there's mice and the rodents and whatnot are attacking their sunflowers, and we had no issues. And then I started opening up all the seeds, and there was nothing inside them. And so now I'm thinking, maybe I got one of those pollenless ones before, and
Ooh.
they were never meant to procreate, or I
I'll
don't know.
have to check the ones that I bought from the feed store. I'm sure those are.
Oh, those are definitely.
Those are definitely good, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
No. Those are.
They were super cheap up there. I mean, I want to say it was like.
We need to throw some of those in our space in the field.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and I'll be back up there because in a couple weeks we have to get more chicken feed.
Yeah.
So I will let you know what they have up there, and then just
Yeah.
make the trip worthwhile.
And then you need to get the rest of the stuff for the fodder as well.
Yes, we need to start growing fodder for the chickens.
I think it's pronounced fodder. If
fodder,
it's not,
fodder, fodder.
it could be fodder.
I think it's fodder. That fodder doesn't sound right.
None of it sounds
None of it.
right.
Cannon fodder for the chickens.
Okay.
Yeah, so we got to get that, which is, I mean, it can be basically anything: oats, barley, alfalfa, right? That was in
yes.
there.
I mean,
sunflower. I mean,
anything.
yeah, and it
Wheat.
basically makes your seed go further because
Well, they need something fresh in the winter.
it's fresh,
you know.
dense nutrients for the chickens.
Yeah.
So we're gonna grow flats of that next to our little spot where we're gonna start our seeds. And maybe next week when we do this, our lights will be here. Maybe we can show them that space.
What lights? What?
The lights coming for
Oh,
growing.
yeah,
Maybe a little
the
setup. We're
growing
gonna give it a
lights.
shot here in our master bathroom, basically. Hey, you gotta grow where you can grow in North
No,
Idaho.
Totally.
Yeah, so
I'm excited. It's like a little greenhouse in there.
it is a little greenhouse in there.
We had to fence it off from the cat.
From the cat loves going into pots and
And-
doing her business.
Yeah, and stinking up
Stinking
the
up the joint. Yep,
Yeah.
it's pretty gross. Other than that, on garden front,
What else? Yeah.
well, we got the shelves. And we've just been planning basically.
Yeah.
You know, what are we gonna do? I mean, we have plenty of seeds. So really, now what it comes down to is we have an idea of the space now that we've got kind of the beds laid out, and we're looking in the book, the Market Gardener book,
Oh yes.
get an idea of how much we kind of want to grow to get a certain yield. Of course, that yield's going to be lower this year because it's your first year and we're just kind of learning. And then basically mapping it out, what we're going to start, when we're going to start, because all that has to be lined up. Our frost risk is crazy. Mm-hmm. And we're going to experiment. So we're going to have some that we're going to cover with, we're going to do like poly low tunnels. And we need to get some of the frost fabric. So it's really like a trial and error. She's going to do some beds that maybe aren't covered.
Well, if you remember last year, I swore I was gonna direct sow everything.
Yes.
I was so frustrated when I went to transplant and everything was so stagnant and they just sat there. And then I had some things that I had direct sown and they were thriving. And I said, that's it, you know, but I've come to realize that a lot of the issues were in the soil and I had transplanted things that needed to be direct sown, and that's not across the board, that you can safely start things inside from seed, but it's going to be another experiment to see how large do they need to get before you have to harden them off and then transplant, and what's going to do well. It's just going to be another trial and error, but
yeah, we got to get a lot of soil.
Specifically, you wanted to do a space without landscape fabric.
Oh, yes.
And
right, because we ordered our landscape fabric, so we got landscape fabric, pots, our trays, netting for your flowers.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do a spot with landscape fabric and without landscape fabric.
What does this say?
Find something to open the vent. And so that way, yeah, we're just gonna see what works best.
Right.
We got a couple tools that we needed, de-weeding tools.
Yeah, I feel like it's gonna be an easier process because we're taking on such a large space. I think it's gonna be an easier process if we have the landscape fabric down. And your concern is that it'll be difficult to succession plant in spaces where we have the landscape fabric.
Yeah, but we do kind of want to landscape fabric the pathways regardless.
Definitely.
And if we run out of landscape fabric, we're going to put mulch down.
Yeah.
As much as possible to kind of block out the weeds. And let's see, so we got soil and mulch, two different kinds of soil. We got to get like our just garden mix variety soil, and then we got to get some compost on top. Mm-hmm. So we want to do 2 inches of compost layered on top. And it can't be like that chunky stuff, because if we're direct seeding, we got a Jang seeder, so that can't have. It's got to be really nice soil for that to work well.
And that's going to be exciting to try and use.
Learn that,
I've never used one of those, but I
go a
do
lot
get
faster.
Frustrated. Yeah.
A lot easier on your back. I can't. I can't bend over for 4 hours and plant seeds by hand. I'll be dead.
No, carrot seeds are my nemesis. So.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Carrots and radishes.
So that's it, right?
Okay.
That's it today. You got anything else to add?
No, I mean, I could talk all day, but
Talk all day about gardening?
We don't need to.
No, yeah, we're probably end up getting. We always go longer than we think we're gonna go.
No, I know.
But planning right now is important, because sooner or later it's gonna get to that point. And if you start direct or sowing inside, if you start getting your plants and flowers and whatnot going. You really kind of have to start that in February?
It depends on where you are. It depends on your zone.
Yeah, it depends on the thing.
And it depends on what you're planting. Some things you want to plant in fall before. Some things you have like 12 weeks, 6 weeks, 2 weeks. It just depends.
But like if you look through all your seeds, you'll find something that you're gonna want to probably start indoors if you can by the end of February. I mean, there's got to be some stuff that you'd want to. End of February, early March?
I think, like we brought our peppers in
Yeah.
from last winter, or last summer, I'm sorry. And peppers are really difficult, in my opinion, to germinate and to get going. So if we didn't have any peppers, I would be planting peppers now.
Right.
Because I feel like it takes them so long.
Well, yeah, we have to play with that too, because that could have simply been soil
Or the
was
lighting.
deficient.
Or,
Well,
yeah,
it could have
who
been a
knows?
million things. So at least this year we'll get dialed in and we can take notes and know what corrections need to be made, because there wasn't really a baseline formulated last year. So
The novices.
the novices, yeah. Well, you know, it was chaos. It was chaos last
yes,
year.
It is.
Yeah.
It's always chaos for us.
That's true.
Yeah.
All right, we will guess end with that.
Yes.
See you next time.